Quiet hoes be getting more respect. I feel like Meg Thee Stallion came out was like big old freak, big booty, big old treat. You know what I'm saying? I feel like owning up to it to me is more admirable than being a quiet, secretive slut.
Can I just say this whole Saweetie situation has gotten way too wild lately? Everything that's been coming out about her has been against my will, I swear. Her ex-friend and former road manager, Maybach May, decided to spill tea online, claiming Saweetie was supposedly set up with a famous footballer, Jadon Sancho. But apparently, things didn't go as planned because Saweetie caught feelings. Or maybe he did. And suddenly, there was drama over who owed who money for the introduction. Like, how messy can it get? Let's be real for a second. Watching someone hop online, shouting about unpaid favors, is already weird energy. But this story just kept unfolding with more and more rumors flying left and right. Some people started whispering about her lifestyle, her circle, and even strange accusations about her spiritual practices. It's honestly giving too much chaos. And here's the part that really got folks talking. For years, people have been hyping up how Saweetie always lands major brand deals, high-end partnerships, and luxury events, despite critics saying her music stats don't always match the bag she's securing. But now, with all this mess going on, people are starting to question if maybe the real power move isn't just her team. Maybe it's her ability to stay relevant, no matter what storm hits. At the end of the day, whether you love her or love to talk about her, one thing's for sure. Saweetie knows how to keep her name buzzing. Whew, she's really been through one wild ride, hasn't she? Let's get into the glow-up story of Saweetie. Because whether people like it or not, this girl built her name from the ground up. She started writing music and poems when she was just 14, already showing that creative spark. Later, while studying at the University of Southern California, she juggled both books and bars, earning a degree in communication and business. That alone proves she's not just beauty and style, she's brains too. After graduation, Saweetie packed her dreams, moved to Los Angeles, and started recording tracks straight from her phone. Yup, no fancy studio, just hunger and hustle. She began dropping freestyles on Instagram, and before anyone knew it, one of her clips blew up. That was the birth of her breakout track Icy Girl in 2017, a total game changer that turned her into a viral sensation. The song didn't just trend, it went multi-platinum and ruled Billboard's rhythmic airplay charts. By 2019, she dropped another hit EP featuring My Type, which stormed into the Billboard Hot 100, locking her spot in mainstream hip-hop for good. But Saweetie didn't stop there, she leveled up her brand game big time. From hosting the MTV Europe Music Awards to performing on Saturday Night Live, she was everywhere. She even scored Grammy nominations for Best New Artist and Best Rap Song. Talk about elevation. Plus, she bagged deals with McDonald's, MAC Cosmetics, Crocs, and more. Say what you want, but this girl turned ambition into empire. And she's still climbing. Now here's where things start getting real messy, because what we're hearing now might just flip the whole Saweetie success story on its head.
Quiet hoes be getting more respect. I feel like Meg Thee Stallion came out was like big old freak, big booty, big old treat. You know what I'm saying? I feel like owning up to it to me is more admirable than being a quiet, secretive slut. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you've been named to too many men who have been in relationships. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly.
And marriages.
And marriages. Allegedly. But it's just like at this point, how long are we going to let this shit ride?
Yeah.
Lately, new allegations from someone claiming to be a former associate have dragged her personal life back into the spotlight. And it's definitely not the kind of attention anyone wants. So, there's this woman online going by the name Maybach May, who says she used to work as Saweetie's road manager. She decided to hop on Instagram and drop a whole load of accusations, from unpaid debts to questionable bookings overseas. She even said she once arranged appearances for Saweetie in London, Nigeria, Dubai, and Australia, but never got her cut because things reportedly got too personal between Saweetie and one of the people involved. And then, just like that, the posts vanished, deleted within hours. But not before everyone got screenshots. According to Mai's version, Saweetie was allegedly booked to make a guest appearance at Chelsea's stadium, where footballer Jadon Sancho was supposed to host her. But the plan apparently went sideways when the two supposedly hit it off, and feelings got involved. And from there, the internet detectives went crazy. By early 2025, fans began noticing little clues that made them think something was definitely going on between them. The two were reportedly spotted together during her London trip, and people claimed that Jaden even had a black and white photo of Saweetie as his phone wallpaper. Talk about bold. Whether it was love or just timing, everyone online took it as confirmation that these two were officially an item. Now, this next part? Whew! It's where things really start sounding like a soap opera. Word on the street is that Jaden Sancho went as far as getting Saweetie's middle name Ava tattooed on his skin. That's a serious move. But while fans were losing their minds over the gesture, her ex-road manager, Maybach Mai, clearly wasn't celebrating. All she wanted was her money back for allegedly setting the whole situation up in the first place. In those deleted posts, Maybach went off. She wrote something like, "Hey Saweetie, I see you playing internet games on Beyoncé's internet. You already know how I get down. I'm either getting my money or I'm dropping receipts." And baby, that line alone had the internet in a chokehold. She claimed they'd spent almost a month in Africa together, saying she refused to be played out of her cash after everything she did for her. Then she posted again, doubling down with even more accusations. She said, "I'll tell a joke, but I ain't never told a lie." According to her, she took Saweetie to Dubai to lift her spirits when she was going through a rough patch, booked her in London, set up Nigeria trips, and even helped organize an Australian tour. She said she went all out for her, only to end up feeling betrayed when the money never showed. But the wildest part? Her final message was straight heat. She claimed she was just missing the London money and warned Saweetie to pay up before she started naming the rest of the men she'd allegedly been linked with. So now the whole internet's on fire, trying to figure out what's really going on behind all this drama. Because if Maybach Mai's claims have even a hint of truth, that means Saweetie's been caught in a web way bigger than just music and brand deals. Fans started digging deep, pulling up old posts, travel photos, even matching outfits from the same hotel balconies. You already know how quick the internet becomes a detective agency when something smells messy. At first, Saweetie stayed completely silent, which only made people talk louder. Some fans think she's keeping quiet to protect her image and business ties, while others believe she's waiting to hit back with something major, maybe even a lawsuit or a PR power move. But silence in this game, it always gets people guessing. Meanwhile, others began questioning why Maybach suddenly decided to spill all this now. Was it revenge, unfinished business, or maybe she just wanted her name trending too? Either way, her timing couldn't have been more explosive, dropping all this just as Saweetie was planning her next music rollout. Coincidence? I don't think so. Then the conversations took a turn. People started saying, why is every successful woman's story suddenly surrounded by scandal? Because whether it's money disputes, old friendships gone sour, or messy love rumors, it's always something pulling focus away from her talent. Still, what no one can deny is that Saweetie's brand has been built on confidence, luxury, and that icy girl lifestyle. She's never needed to chase attention. Attention chases her. But this time, the noise might have gotten too loud to ignore. Now here's where things hit another level of messy, because Maybach didn't stop at just talking. She actually dropped what looked like screenshots of old text exchanges between her and Saweetie, supposedly mentioning Jaden Sancho by name. One of the messages allegedly said something like, "How many women ran it up on Jaden this weekend?" which instantly made people think their whole connection might have been more transactional than romantic. The internet took that and ran wild with it, spinning every possible theory. Another one of the leaked posts read, "Instead of paying me, she fell in love with the client and told him not to pay me. She got what she wanted and never paid me. Simple. I want my money," Maybach claimed. She even told Jaden directly to send her what she was owed, warning him not to get too deep with Saweetie because, in her words, the relationship was all about the lifestyle. Whew, the nerve. According to her, Saweetie's been juggling big bills, luxury tastes, and debts behind the scenes, all while trying to keep that Birkin-level image polished in public. She hinted that Jaden might have been helping her maintain that high-end lifestyle. And that's when fans started debating whether this whole thing was love, convenience, or business. And if that wasn't enough chaos, Maybach's Instagram stories went off the rails with more wild claims. Everything from overseas scandals to rumors about her personal habits, unpaid promoters, and even whispers about spiritual practices that had everyone side-eyeing. Now, this expose had social media going absolutely crazy. Everyone suddenly became an expert on Saweetie's lifestyle, throwing in their 2 cents like they had front-row seats to her life. One person online said, "I mean, if there's no tours, no merch, no major music sales, but you see someone living that luxury life, like flying across islands, rocking designer, everything. What exactly did you think was going on?" And honestly, that comment had people divided. Then another person jumped in saying, "Saweetie keeps blaming her career slowdown on pretty privilege backlash. But what if it's really because she's been mishandling her money and getting caught up in bad situations?" That statement right there blew up instantly. Timelines were flooded with hot takes, memes, and side-eye reactions from fans and critics alike. But it didn't stop there. Some claimed that Maybach's story actually lined up with things they'd already heard before. Rumors started resurfacing about Saweetie's December 2024 trip to Nigeria, which she had publicly said was for a music video with an Afrobeats artist. But according to some people online, there might have been more to that trip than what was posted on Instagram. Supposedly, she ended up in a sticky situation involving a wealthy businessman, and the drama got so bad she had to be flown back to the US early. Now, whether any of that is true or not, the internet took those whispers and turned them into a storm. And just when people thought it couldn't get any messier, new allegations popped up about her possibly crossing paths with other high-profile names, which fans quickly ran with, even though there's no solid proof. At this point, the internet's practically spinning out of control, every new rumor adding another layer to this wild Saweetie saga. Fans are debating nonstop, saying this whole situation feels way deeper than what we're seeing online. Some are calling Maybach a clout chaser desperate for attention, while others swear she's exposing the truth that's been hiding behind the glitter for years. Either way, everybody's watching and the streets are talking. Several insiders have come forward claiming that the tension between Saweetie and her former team has been bubbling for months. They say there's been talk about missing payments, broken contracts, and promises that never got fulfilled. Others believe Maybach might have been cut off when Saweetie switched management. And now she's trying to get even. But by taking it public, she's created a firestorm that might be hard for either side to escape. Meanwhile, Saweetie's fans, the Icy Gang, are going hard defending her name, saying this is all jealousy and bitterness from people who couldn't keep up with her success. They're pointing out that Saweetie has always been open about hustling hard for her brand, from her early Icy Girl days to her current business empire. But even some fans admit, with all this noise online, her PR team's probably working overtime right now. And just when you think the dust might settle, boom, another wave of tweets, screenshots, and inside sources hits the timeline, keeping the drama alive. What's clear is that something definitely went down behind closed doors, but who's really telling the truth? Now this is where things took a sharp left turn, because the drama started linking back to some very familiar faces in the industry. Remember that wild moment a while ago when rumors started flying that Offset, yes, Cardi B's ex-husband, had allegedly been unfaithful again, this time with none other than Saweetie? The twist was, Saweetie was not only friends with Cardi at one point, but also the ex of Offset's cousin and Migos bandmate Quavo. Whew, the connections alone made people's heads spin. At first, most folks brushed it off as nonsense. Like, come on. Offset's been caught slipping before, but would he really risk his marriage and his family ties like that? It sounded too wild to believe. But as the gossip kept spreading, more people started saying there might have been something to it after all. Suddenly, that impossible rumor didn't seem so far-fetched anymore, and timelines were flooded with old clips, cryptic lyrics, and shady posts that had fans putting the puzzle together piece by piece. Then came Maybach's bombshell claims saying Saweetie allegedly had a pattern of getting involved with men who were already taken. That's when another old clip resurfaced, one featuring Winter Blanco, Stefan Diggs' ex, who once talked about Saweetie's so-called reputation for crossing lines when it came to relationships. Fans pulled it back up, and the internet went into overdrive. And just to make things even messier, once Maybach mentioned those Dubai trips, people started connecting dots that probably shouldn't be connected, spinning all kinds of stories about secret events and wild parties overseas. Now, while none of that's been proven, the speculation alone has been enough to keep Saweetie trending non-stop. Now, before we wrap this up, let's just say some of the stories coming out about these so-called luxury trips are absolutely disturbing. There have been shocking claims about women being forced into degrading situations overseas, treated horribly, manipulated, and completely stripped of their dignity. Many of them reportedly thought they were flying out for modeling jobs or brand deals, only to end up in situations far from glamorous. It's sickening to even imagine, and no one deserves to be put through that ever. That's why this whole situation with Saweetie and Maybach's accusations has people side-eyeing and questioning what's really true behind all the flashy pictures and high-end lifestyles. Maybach's threat to expose more if she doesn't get paid had fans wondering if there's even more chaos waiting to drop. And since Saweetie's been silent, deleting posts, ignoring drama, and staying off the topic, people are wondering if maybe that hush is her way of letting it die down before it explodes again. Some folks think she already paid Maybach just to make it disappear, while others believe she's just staying quiet because she knows anything she says could blow up even worse. Either way, this mess has definitely shaken her image. And everyone's watching to see if she speaks up or just keeps letting the internet do the talking. So, what do you think, y'all? Did Saweetie really get caught up in something deeper than she expected? Or is this just another internet takedown gone too far? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because we've got even more wild stories coming your way. See what's on our radar next. You know it's gonna be messy.